Hare Krishna, all the devotees. Please accept my humble obeisances and Dandavat Pranam. I invite you for and on behalf of His Grace Sri Ramanista Das Prabhuji for our early morning short Bhagavatam class organized by Radha Govinda Temple, Kulai, Mangaluru. We shall begin with the prayers. You would say your prayers along with me, keeping the mute button on. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम् वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुः श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुर्वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपसागरजातं सगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवम् साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं श्रीकृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी श्री राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरि प्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन् इति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे प्लीज फॉलो मी ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय
ओम
ॐ
नमो
नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय
ॐ
ओम
नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय
नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमम्
नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं
देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्
देवी
देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्
शृण्वतां स्वकथः कृष्णः पुण्यश्रवणकीर्तनः
शृण्वन्
शृण्वतां स्वकथा कृष्ण पुण्यश्रवणकीर्तनः
हृदयन्तः सोऽयभद्राणि विदुनोति सुरस्तथा
हृदयन्तस्थो ह्यभद्राणि विप्नोति सुरस्तथा
नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया
नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यभागवतसेवया
भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवती नैष्टिकी
भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति
नैष्ठिकी
नित्यं भागवत सेवया daily recitation of Srimad Bhagavatam, Manan, Patan, preaching, attending the classes of Srimad Bhagavatam, removes all inauspicious things from our lives. And since we worship Lord Krishna, the Uttama Sloka, he bestows upon us the Vainaistiki Bhakti. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 6, Prescribed Duties for Mankind. Chapter 15, we are beginning with a new chapter today. The saints Narada and Angira instructs King Chitraketu. We plan to take first two verses, of which only second has a small purport, and take the introduction. I plan that we first go through the recitation, translation, and then we take up the introduction and the last purport, so that discussion becomes easier and coherent. Those who want to recite can raise their hands. How come my hand is raised? Sri Sukha Uvacha Ushatu Mrutakopante Patitam Mrutakopamama Shokabhibhutam Rajanam Bodhayantau Saduktibi. Chitra Mohini Devi Dasi ji. Hare Krishna Mataji.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी, प्रणाम प्रभु जी। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। श्रीशुक उवाच पूजतृमृतकोपान्ते पतितं मृतकोपमं शोकाभिभूतं राजानं बोधयन्तौ सदुक्तिभिः।
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you. Sunamya Madhvi Devi Dasi ji. Hare Krishna Mataji.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु। श्री ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। श्री शुक उवाच उच्चतुर्मूर्तकोपान्ते पतितं मृतकोपमं शोकाभिभूतं राजानं बोधयन्तौ सदुक्तिभिः। हरे कृष्ण।
Thank you, Mataji. Pranandini Madhvi Devi Dasi ji. Hare Krishna Mataji.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी, प्रणाम प्रभु जी। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। श्री सुक उवाच उच्चतुर्मृतकोपान्ते पतितं मृतकोपमं शोकाभिभूतं राजानं बोधयन्तो सदुक्तिभिः। हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी, थैंक यू।
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you. Revati Ratnangi Devi Dasi ji. Hare Krishna Mataji.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी, प्रणाम प्रभु जी। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। श्रीशुक उवाच उच दुर्मृद गोपान्दे बदितमृतकोपमं सकाकीभूतं राजानं बोध्यान्तं सत् उक्तिभिः। हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी, थैंक यू वेरी मच।
Can you read the synonyms, Mataji, for us?
यस प्रभु जी, थैंक यू प्रभु जी, थैंक यू वेरी मच प्रभु जी। Sri Sukha Uvacha. Sri Sukadeva Goswami said, Uchchatu, they spoke, Mritaka, the dead body, Upande near, Patitam fallen, Mrika Upamam, exactly like another dead body. Soka Abhibhutam, Very much aggrieved by lamentation, Rajanam to the king, Bodayanto, giving instruction, Sat Uktibihi, by instruction that are factually, not temporary. Thank you very much, Prabhuji.
Thank
Hare
you,
Krishna.
Revati Ratnagi Devidasiji. Translation. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Sri Sukadev Goswami said, while King Chitraketu overcome by lamentation lay like a dead body at the side of the dead body of his son, the two great sages, Narada and Gira, instructed him about spiritual consciousness as follows. Those who want to recite this verse can raise their hand as well. Koyam svatvavaragendra bhavanayamanushocati tvam chasya katamaha srusto puredani matah param. Uma Kulkarni Mataji. Go ahead, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। कोऽयं सातवराजेन्द्र भवान्यम् अनुशोचति त्वं च अस्य कथं सृष्टौ पुरा इदानीम् अतः परम्। हरे कृष्ण
Thank
प्रभु
you,
जी।
Mataji. Pranandini Madhvi Devi Dasiji.
कृष्ण प्रभु जी। कोऽयं स्यात् तव राजेन्द्र भवान् यम् अनुशोचितः त्वं चस्य कथमः सृष्टो पुरेदानीम् अतः परम्। हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी। थैंक यू
Thank
प्रभु जी।
you. Revati Ratnagi Devi Dasiji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, pranam Prabhuji. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Ko ayam syatave rajendra bhavan yavam anushosati. Tvam sasya kadama srishto rodanim adaha param. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you very much.
Thank you. Suramya Madhvi Devi Dasiji.
हरे कृष्ण। कोऽयं स्यात् तव राजेन्द्र भवान् यमनुशोचति त्वं चास्य कथमः सृष्टौ पुरेदानीमतः परम्। हरे कृष्ण।
Thank you, Mataji. Chitra Mohini Devi Dasiji.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभुजी। कोऽयं स्यात्तव राजेन्द्र भवान् यमानुशोचति तं चास्य कथं सृष्टौ पुरेधामतपम्। हरे कृष्ण प्रभु। थैंक यू।
Thank you, Mataji. Synonyms. Kali, who, Ayam, this, Syat, is,
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी।
Tava.
Can I read प्रभु जी synonyms?
Go ahead, Mataji.
हरे कृष्ण। Synonyms: कहा, who, I am, this, syat, is, tava, to you, Raja Indra, O best of kings, Bhavan, your lordship, Yam, whom, Anusochati, laments over, Tvam, you, Cha, and Asya, to him, the dead body, Katamaha, who, Srusto, in the birth, Pura, previously, Idanim, at this time, at the present, Ataha Param, and hereafter in the future. Hare Krishna Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you, Pranandini Mataji. Thank you. Translation. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. O King, what relationship does the dead body for which you lament have with you? And what relationship do you have with him? You may say that you are now related as father and son, but do you think this relationship existed before? Does it truly exist now? Will it continue in future? Purport. Purport by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The instructions given by Narada and Angira Muni are the true spiritual instructions for the illusioned conditioned soul. This world is temporary, but because of our previous karma, we come here and accept bodies, creating temporary relationship in terms of society, friendship, love, nationality, and community, which are all finished at death. These temporary relationships did not exist in the past, nor will they exist in future. Therefore, in the present moment, these so-called relationships are illusions. We'll go through this introduction part of it as well. Hmm. The title of the chapter 15 is The Saints Narada and Angira Instruct King Chitraketu. In this chapter, Angira Rishi, along with Narada, consoles Chitraketu as far as possible. Angira and Narada Rishi came to relieve the king from excessive lamentation by instructing him about the spiritual significance of life. Two areas are very important in this paragraph. Number one is console Chitraketu as far as possible. It's up to the understanding of a person how far he should stop lamenting. And second, Angira and the Narada are helping king to prevent excessive lamentation. Some lamentation, some emotions would always be there, as Premakishwari Mataji always says, that when the grief comes, it does cause lamentation. So we can't be devoid of emotions. The great saints Angira and Narada explain that the relationship between the father and the son is not factual. It is simply a representation of the illusory energy. The relationship did not exist before, nor will it stay in future. By the arrangement of the time, the relationship exists only in the present. One should not lament for temporary relationship. The entire cosmic manifestation is temporary. Although not unreal, it is not factual. Just look at the play of words. Although not unreal, though it looks real, it is not factual. By the direction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, everything created in the material world is transient. By a temporary arrangement, a father begets a child, or a living entity becomes the child of a so-called father. These temporary arrangements is made by the Supreme Lord. Neither the Father nor the Son exist independently. As the king listened to the great sages, he was relieved from his false lamentation and Then he inquired about their identity. The great sages presented who they were and instructed that all suffering are due to the bodily conception of the life. When one understands his spiritual identity and surrenders to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Supreme Spiritual Person, one becomes actually happy. When one searches for happiness in matter, one must certainly lament for bodily relationship. Self-realization means spiritual realization of one's relationship with Krishna. Such realization ends one's miserable material life. When there is overwhelming emotions because of incidences in the material world, just going there and saying words there which are very strong against the thinking and the concept that person is harboring is always very painful to hear. In our medicine, it's very common. Give a bitter pill with a sugar coating. So, if you really want to confront anyone who is facing the bad crisis or issues of sorrow, go first to his position of sorrow so he accepts you that you are also lamenting along with him. You can only talk to a person when you reach the same platform. Platform above or platform below doesn't really communicate well with the platform lying elsewhere. Once you started walking and talking, that's when you can punch the realities slowly, vividly explaining what has been going on in the world and how this particular crisis is not really a crisis. We humans are such that whenever something comes upon us, we always react very strongly, fervently, and quite violently. That's the way we have been grown up believing and behaving. Any crisis that comes along can lead to a tendency where you feel your life is useless. And that's how people do commit suicides in such moments. This is the extreme thinking that leads one to act and commit a crime of that sort. But those who are learned, even in the material world, those people who are considered to be philosophers and scholars, they always say that whatever the crisis comes, everything passes by. And the word used is, these too will go. So, in other words, what they mean is that whatever you feel today is going to reduce itself in intensity as the days pass. And eventually you will come back to your normal self without realizing that anything had at all happened. A moment of crisis which was leading you to think that your life is useless and you are even prepared to end it. As the time passes, the crisis and its impact reduces and nullifies. So the biggest healer of any issue or any problem is always a time, and time works very well. However, it is said that any problem in this world always has a solution. So if you have a problem at hand, don't worry about it, howsoever bigger it looks. And in the first phase or initial phase, problem always looks unsurmountable. It looks even taller than the Everest, deeper than the deep sea, and you feel that no one can surmount this problem. But Nelson Mandela used to say that it's only a question of walking that far. We walk together, we talk together, and we reach that far that the solutions are found. So, there is no problem in this world which doesn't have a solution. It's just a question of talking, walking that far to reach and find out what the solution is. However, these are all material implications of the issues and the problems and the crises that we face. The hard realities of the material world are the one that our sages are describing. What we talked until was just the philosophical aspect of it. These are the realities of the material world. The first reality that they invoke is the relationship between the father and the son is absolutely temporary. The relationship is only in the present situation. It wasn't there yesterday, it will not be there tomorrow. When I say yesterday, I say the past. When I say tomorrow, I talk about future. And so, the relationship only exists in the suspended time of presence. The present is gone and relationship may not be there. Even if relationship is quite solid and has been existing for some time, death of anyone ends the relationship. For all of us, death is the end point of all that we do, all that we gather, all that we collect, all that we possess, and all that we are proud of, including your qualifications, your degrees, your status, your position. They are only there till your death. Death disrupts everything totally, and there is no coming back. Death is the end point where everything ends for a person who dies. It's a popular dialogue in Anand. Mara to sala mein hi nahi. Anyway, these deaths depicts that relationship is temporary. Something that dies, something that gets destroyed is always temporary. We have a saying, Naam teno nash. Something that has a name always has a destruction. So whatever the relationship that we are talking about is temporary. Even the entire material world is temporary. Srila Prabhupada explains that in great detail, saying how the world itself is temporary. Then what to talk about one small, less significant relationship that exists in such a huge material world? And thus they go further explaining that the material world is created, iti, maintained, and nirodha, destroyed. So sarga, iti, and nirodha is going on as a continuous process by the will of the Lord. Thus, the minor relationships that exist between the living entity and the major existence of the material world, both are temporary. Since they are temporary, they are illusions. Imagine that people created big forts, big palaces. I'm sure they must have thought while getting it done that they're going to live on earth for 10,000 years. Otherwise, who will build such a big palace to live in or a fort to protect himself? So that illusion always exists, and illusion is stronger when the things are destructible. Srila Prabhupada explains in detail how the world is temporary, and though it looks as if it is real, and in material sense to some extent it is looking real, but it is not factual, meaning thereby that it's not going to be there all the time. It's going to be there, but it's going to be destroyed. And when it is destroyed, it doesn't remain as real. After describing in great detail about temporary situation, temporary existence of the world that we live in, and temporary relationship that the father and the son has, they now go further, both the sages, explaining that these all the concepts of lamentation comes in because we believe in the bodily concept. We believe that I am the body, and thus body is destroyed, and thus the lamentation comes in. However, we are not the body. We are the soul. And if I am the soul, then as Lord Krishna explained in Bhagavad Gita, that soul doesn't get destroyed, cannot be cut, cannot be wetted, cannot be fired, etc. Soul is eternal, and it changes the body as if we change our clothes. And thus, the bodily concept must go. When the bodily concept goes away, the spiritual realm comes in. And when you realize that you are the soul and not the body, automatically you understand that the lamentation has no place when things which are supposed to be destroyed at some time gets destroyed. Things which are supposed to die at some point dies. And thus, as Yudhishthir explained, everybody knows, every human being knows, everybody is going to die. And still, the most beautiful, awesome part is either nobody believes it or nobody prepares for that ultimate death. In short, in nutshell, if we look at this chapter is going to take both the Angira Muni and Narada to take the journey of insignificant material world and inadequate bodily concept into a permanent solution of soul and soul's existence and the constitutional position of the soul of being servitor of the Lord Krishna. Only this can bring a position of called Sat Chit Anand, continuous, happy, blissful, eternal, and cognizant life. It's going to be a good journey, and so I'm sure this chapter is going to teach us lots of lessons. This is basically a chapter on instructions. Instructions are always given by people who are much more learned, exalted, and reached some stage in their life, of course, the spiritual life. And so hearing and learning from them would certainly benefit us all who are here to learn. The first two verses have just begun describing about the situation, and they are making a primary platform on which to construct further arguments and demolish lamentation completely. Look at the situation at the moment. By a single sentence, they have described the position of Chitraketu. He is feeling like that and lying like a dead body next to his dead son. That's the impact of the death of his son that is produced in him, that he is lying simply like his son as if he is dead. And that's what he feels, that he is almost dead. Let's see how the two expert, exalted, pure devotees of the Lord explain to him in such a way that all the lamentations go away. Srila Prabhupada, in introduction, has very nicely given us the concept. First, the concept of temporary existence, first of the Son and the Father, then of the universe in which they live itself, and then the concept of the body, that Aham Brahmasmi, I am the soul and I am not the body. And that concept will automatically snatch you away from the material thinking, material desire, and material pleasures. It appears from introduction that this is going to be a nice chapter and going to take us through a journey about when you lose someone so dear to you, how you should console. that teaches you and me and us all how to console ourselves or how to console someone else. So it shall be a good learning, I'm sure, and we all would love to have it. Any question, any doubts, any revelation, any queries, any addition, any commentary, please go ahead. Hare Krishna. If there are no queries, no questions, no doubts, I'm sure Srila Prabhupada has written a wonderful purport, and stepwise he has raised the issue of lamentation to demolish it completely. We must thank Prabhupada for such nice purport. Thank you very much for attending the class. All of you have a nice, wonderful Krishna conscious day. Vancha kalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Hare Krishna to everyone.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare
Very
Krishna, Prabhuji.
beautifully
Hare
explained
Krishna.
that everything is so temporary, so temporary, so temporary, and what are we chasing in life? As if it is forever. Thank you
Yes,
for that advice and reminder,
thank,
Prabhuji.
thank, thank you. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna to everyone.